Well, hello and welcome to the Homeless Consultant channel. My name is Paul B. I am the Homeless Consultant. And today we're taking a field trip. No, I'm not trying to do my Michael Jackson impression, although I used to be able to moonwalk. What I want to do today is demonstrate for you, the sheer amount of trash and garbage that these filthy, irresponsible homeless people leave all around this area where I'm at right now. Okay, I'm at my workplace right now, and I've just had it with these homeless people dumping their garbage. So let's go along and start picking this stuff up, okay? Keep in mind, the company pays tens of thousands of dollars for landscaping here, all this beautiful landscaping. And let's just see what we find other than these kinds of items. Let's see, there's a bottle cap. What do we have here? Look at this. I mean, can you believe this? These homeless people are just sickening, leaving this junk around for good, upstanding citizens to have to deal with. I mean, look at it. I got some paper over here. There's just all kinds of this stuff. Just all kinds of it. Look over here. What do you got? Piece of paper. Yeah, cigarette pack all wadded up. I mean, who knows what that is? People. I mean, this is just unbelievable. I mean, these homeless people need to clean up their act. This is really disgusting. So, there we go. Can you see that piece of paper there? Alright, so there's kind of more of the same over in this area. So I'm going to turn off the camera and go pick all this stuff up, okay? Because I have to hold the camera with one hand. I'll be back. Okay, so welcome back. Here's my haul from that small area. I had to leave all those tiles for now. There's just too many of them and I can't fit them in this bag. So there's the haul. I'm going to get this piece of paper here. I mean, this grass. I mean, the thousands and thousands of dollars they're spending on this. Unbelievable. Oh, look at this. Here we go. Well, we got some small things there. But before the battery goes out, I want to show you this. Can you believe this? What? These homeless people are absolutely out of control. They just leave a piece of plastic there like that to degrade our environment. This is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Alright, I'm going to be back when I get to the parking garage, alright? Okay, so welcome back. And you know what? The battery's going to die in this thing really soon. So I'm going to do 2 passes around the parking garage. The first one, I'll just show you the garbage that's there that these homeless people left all over the place, and then I'll go clean it up off camera and show you what the haul is. Currently the haul is this much stuff. Alright, so let's see what we have before the battery runs out. We have paper, wrappers, big piece of paper, whatever that is, cigarette butts all over the place. Let's see here, what else we have. Whoops, sorry, I accidentally did the zoom on there. Got some kind of a plastic cap, more paper wrappers, more cigarette butts, a lot more cigarette butts. Oh, we got some junk here, we got a wrapper there. I mean, look at this. Can you believe? I mean, these homeless people are just out of control. This is disgusting. Look at all this crap in here. I mean, I'm about 1/20th through the garage so far, right? And this is what it is through the whole thing. Look at that. Look at that snot rag right there. Disgusting. Whatever that is. Got some paper here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you really hit it well there, homeless person. Good show. No one will see that. Oh, what else we got here? We got a flattened out can. Look at that. Disgusting. Disgusting. We got a bottle. Beautiful. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Look at this big thing. Look at that. Unbelievable. What is wrong with these people? Alright. Here we have a Pepsi can. Just sitting there on the ledge. You know, why not? Somebody else will pick it up, right? Why should these filthy homeless people do it when, you know, other people can do it for them? Look at that, a whole McDonald's bag. I mean, sure, yeah, okay. No reason to put that in the garbage. There's some more crap, some more junk. Let's see, I know I'm missing a lot of this too because I'm just walking through the one area. Let's see here. You know what, actually, I don't think you're going to find much out here. This part of the garage isn't really used. But, you know, you're going to find stuff. By the way, these ridiculous, filthy, disgusting homeless people, they've broken about 10 of the lights in here. I mean, look at that. Look at that. 10 of the lights. That's what I counted, and I might have even missed one or two when I made my first pass to turn the lights on. So, let's see what we have over here. I'm trying to truck through here before the battery goes out. Oh, look at that. Another bottle. Why not? Someone else will get it for you. Don't worry about it there, homeless bum. Worthless, useless, irresponsible, homeless bum. Unbelievable. What is it with these people? This garage alone looks like Los Angeles. Golly. Alright. Go. Looks, oh, okay, so one of these homeless people got their hands on a ice cream pop. There's a box of something. There's just countless crap over here. Straw. Yeah, why not? Just throw the plastic straw on the floor. That's great. Beautiful. Look at that. Another snot rag. Who knows what that is? I'm wearing gloves when I pick this stuff up. Junk. Alright. And that brings me back to my car. So, let me get to where you can see me as if you want to. I'm going to go pick all this stuff up now, and then I'll show you if that bag can even hold all this stuff, plus the stuff you didn't see. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, I am back, and I have completed my circuit cleaning up the obvious garbage in here. Let me show you what we have. If I can get the camera here. There we go. So that's how much garbage was in this relatively small parking garage. I didn't even bother with the cigarette butts. I'm gonna have to go around with a broom and a dustpan to pick all those up. So this was just the garbage, but there is one other thing I found that I didn't show you before. I've got to show you, so let's go. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. What I wanted to show you was what was in the stairwell that I didn't see before. Take a look at what these homeless trash left in here. Probably sleeping in the stairwell, right? Look at this ratted out. Disgusting. Look at that green slime on there. It's probably some medieval disease like typhus or something. I mean, I don't even want to touch this thing with my hands, but I mean, you see what I have to deal with here. I mean, they got to get these homeless people out of here. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I will be right back to tell you a bit more about this, all right? Okay, welcome back. That was quite a workout. I mean, I was just sweating bullets. I had to take off my outer shirt. That was ruthless. I mean, this is absolutely out of control. I mean, you know, among other things, You know, remember the can? I showed you the can kind of hidden in the corner. Turns out there were actually two cans. So there was one behind it, and they were both encased in a cobweb. I mean, a full, thick cobweb. In fact, I never could get all the stuff off the glove I was using from the cobweb. One area over there, these homeless people, they were eating a bunch of like butterscotch candies. So they left just a good handful, 2 handfuls worth of wrappers just laying there where they just stood and ate them in our parking garage. I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, I gotta say, you know, you look at how big that bag is, and I mean, all the effort I had to go through to clean that up. You know, this is a nice, respectable business park. These are very, very, very important business people who work here. You know, and to have these homeless people come in and dump their garbage all over the place like this, I mean, that's an offense to these fine, upstanding citizens, these very, very, very important business people. You know, there's several hundred of them in this building that I work in. And I got to tell you, folks, I mean, I'm at the point now where we need a solution to this homeless problem. We need a solution, and we need politicians to get into gear and give us a solution. They need to come up with a solution. They need to give us a solution. All right, we need these politicians to just hand us a solution. You know, like these homeless people, they're always asking for handouts and everything. You know, I mean, what a bunch of lazy bums. We need these politicians to just hand us a solution to these homeless people. And, you know, I'm starting to wonder because, you know, I mean, I've heard some proposals maybe handing out some free needles because they figure, well, if all these homeless people, because they're all a bunch of junkies anyway, right? They're just trash, just drug-addled, crazy. You know, you give them some free needles, maybe it'll keep them a little satiated, satisfied, and they won't be doing all this kind of ruckus. You know, we could we could use our tax dollars to put them all on buses and just bus them out, send them to some other city. Then they'll become somebody else's problem, and we won't have to deal with this anymore. We won't have to deal with this. I mean, we need a solution. We need these politicians to hand us a solution. I want them to hand me a solution. I want them to do their jobs. A bunch of lazy bums. I mean, do their jobs. And I mean, I hate to say it this way, but I mean, really, what if there was a serial killer out there who only targeted homeless people? I mean, you know, you got to admit it would kind of help, you know, or I mean, we got to be realistic here. Look at how big the problem is. Look at all the trash. Look at all the problem. The pee, the poop. Look at this stuff. I mean, maybe it's time we consider, you know, a final solution to this. Maybe we should consider, you know, something closer to, you know, genocide. I mean, this homeless thing's getting out of control. We've got to do something about this, and we need the politicians to hand us a solution. You know, like those homeless people keep getting all of these Ouch! Holy Moses! Oh! Oh, thank me. Oh, thank me so much. Oh, thank me for waking me out of that delusion. Oh, thank me, thank me, thank me. What happened to me? I can't believe that happened to me. I mean, how did I get that delusional? How could that happen? I mean, I know better than that. I work here. I'm here all the time. I work in this place. Those several hundred very, 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 very important business people who work in this building with me. I mean, they're so important that when they come out the door, they have to be on their cell phones. About 4 out of 5 are on their cell phones because they're really important people. You know, they're doing deals and making busyness. You You know, there's nothing lazy about these people, right? Well, let me tell you something, folks. Because I work here and because I'm here all the time, I got something to tell you. You know who's leaving all this trash here that I just picked up? Let's find out. Housed people. That is the truth. The simple fact of the matter is this is a secure location. You know what? Homeless people can't get in here. The only homeless person out of the hundreds of people who work in this professional business park in Minnesota, the great state of Minnesota, the only homeless person here is yours truly. And I'm a professional. I'm the one who cleans up the garbage after these people all the time. About once every week or every 2 weeks, I go through this place and I clean up about that much garbage. Every single, like I said, 1 or 2 weeks. And then I go through with the dustpan and I sweep up all the cigarette butts. I watch these people drop this trash on the floor. I watch them do it. You know who's doing it? It's engineers. It's stockbrokers. It's medical professionals. People who work with the Minnesota Department of Health, for example, directly. Those are the people who left all the trash that you just saw there, including the umbrella, and including the cans covered with cobwebs. I know this because I work in this place, and I'm the one who has to stay late all the time when no one else is here, as you can tell, because I have no home. I'm the one who cleans up after them. You know what? We used to have a janitor. There was one janitor for the whole building, or custodian if you prefer. He was kind of an odd duck, but he was a nice guy. He was a genuinely nice guy for the most part. He was a really nice guy. He did a good job. Alone, he took care of the whole building. And what happened was the company that he worked for that was contracted for this, the people who own this business park, they transferred the custodial duties to a different subcontractor. So when they did that, he left where he was working and he went to work for this new subcontractor so he could stay at this building that he's been at for so many years and that he takes care of like it was his own, child. The problem was, the new subcontractor, they're the kind of people who like to hire illegal immigrants, which is perfectly fine with, leftists, progressives. But of course, when you hire people like that, you don't pay them very well, do you? And something else, you don't give them any benefits. You don't give them any health care. So he lost his health benefits. So he had to quit because he couldn't live off of what they were paying. You know what they replaced him with? It depends on the day of the week. They replaced him with either 5 or 6 illegal immigrants. And between all of them, they don't do as good of a job as he did. So now that he's gone, and all we have are these illegal immigrants who don't do a good job at all, most of the mornings, at the beginning of the workday, when these hundreds of people go into this building, there's not even toilet paper in the bathrooms. There's nothing. There's not even hand towels. There's no towel at all. There's nothing. So if you're someone who, say, lives in a car and has diarrhea all the time because you don't have a home and you can't cook prepared food, you got to figure out what to do in a place that's that crowded, a business park, where you don't even have the towels. That's why I'm the person who goes around cleaning up this place all the time. Because you know what? No one else is going to do it. Not the people who are paid to do it, and certainly not these professional, very, 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 very important business people. The people who have $60,000 debt mobiles that they're driving around, and they drive real slow, and they have the windows down, and when they see someone like me standing there, they'll slow down to make sure I have more time to look at how impressive their debt mobile is. Like somehow that's supposed to impress me. Oh, and they're on their phone, of course. There's now, I guess, a law that says you can't be on your cell phone when you're driving, which is a good thing, of course. But they don't care. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told you that. These are very, 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 very important business people. I don't want you to get the wrong impression because, it's only homeless people who break the law. Well, okay, maybe not. The people who work in this building the worst group of people I have ever worked with in a building. I'm not talking about the people who work in my office. I'm talking about the people in this building. They are the most unfriendly people I have ever seen in my life, and I've been in Minnesota for 12 years. These people take the cake. They are rude. They are nasty. They walk around in cliques. You can't communicate with them. They don't smile. They're just horrible. And yet they all want to show their stuff. They walk around with their phones. They stop carrying briefcases. They're all carrying book bags. Now, I don't watch television, but apparently there's I bet you anything, there's something on TV or some popular media culture that has like professionals using book bags, you know, like sixth graders, or yeah, I guess college students as well, but you know, or what do you call them, backpacks, right? Carrying their computer and everything in a backpack. So you've got all these very, 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 very important people. Engineers, you know, medical professionals, all the stocks, all this good stuff. And they're carrying backpacks like a little teenager, and they think they're cool. So that's why I know there's some pop culture somewhere that's telling them to do that, because it doesn't make sense otherwise for all of them to deliberately look that silly. They think they look cool for some reason. I think they look ridiculous. Alright? And as far as I know, the majority of these people live in very, very expensive, you know, quarter of $250,000 to $500,000 debt domiciles, or homes that they haven't paid for yet, you know, because, well, it's not like they're lazy bums or anything, you know. But my point being that there is so much talk lately about the homeless leaving all this trash around. Now, especially when you look at places like Los Angeles. If you look at my recent video where I took on this Hannity character, right? They're talking about trash, but when they talk about trash, needles, pee, and poop on the sidewalk. Those are the four things they kept focusing on. They kept showing video after video of needles, trash, all that. Now, if you've watched my videos at all, you see that when you're homeless, when you're living in a car, I have to sit in this car all the time. So I'm constantly observing what goes on around me. And what have I told you? Okay, there's only really a couple times I've ever seen the homeless people doing drugs. And when they were, each time it was marijuana that I saw. And it was back when they had the homeless shelters. But out on the streets, I personally have never seen a homeless person that I can recall doing drugs out in the open or anything like that. Certainly not needles. However, all the time I see housed people either buying or using drugs. I've been trying to get video at this park where if you go down in the morning, in the early morning, the housed professional people, for example, the type of people who work in this building, who dump the trash out here, they go into the park and they go, for one thing, there's a drug dealer who's out there so they can get their stuff. I don't know why the police can't figure this out. I figured it out. But they pull in and they just sit in their car for a couple of minutes and then they leave. And you know what they're doing? You know what they're doing? It's called drugs. You think the opioid crisis is the only thing? That's part of it. How long does it take to shoot up before you go into work? How long does it take? Watch my video when I finally get a video and you'll find out. I'm trying to do it discreetly without just holding a camera up for these people. But I sit there, these cars come in, there's probably about 60 cars every morning who come in, they sit there for about 3, 5, maybe 6 minutes, and then they leave. And from what I can tell, I don't see them on the phones or anything. They're doing something in there. They're doing something. They're getting ready for work. They are doing the drugs. I haven't seen the homeless people out here doing them. I know they do them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they don't. They do. But who is it who's out there doing the drugs and then getting behind the wheel of an automobile? It's housed people. Who's leaving all this trash that I, the homeless person, has to pick up all the time because they won't pick it up, and neither will the people who are paid to pick it up, the janitors. Which we now need 5 or 6 of them, legal ones, to replace the one American one who did a great job. And he had to quit because they didn't pay him enough. You know, I wanted to make this video badly, and I hope I put it together properly. I hope I can edit it so that it's effective. Because there's been a lot of talk lately in the news about the homeless, quote, problem. And they're coming up with these stupid solutions, like giving free needles to the homeless, like bussing them out so they literally become someone else's problem. I got news for you, friends. I got to tell you some truth here. And it's a shame that it takes a homeless person to tell you the truth, any of you who believe this stuff. But you know what? You know who leaves trash? You know who are the lazy bums? You know who lazy bums are? Do you know who the filthy, irresponsible people are? I'll tell you right now who they are. Human beings. People. People, for the most part, are lazy, irresponsible. They are everything that the homeless are accused of being. It's as if society has taken all of their own sins and tried to just dump them on the homeless, like the homeless are some kind of mega Jesus. You know, Jesus died on the cross so that you could put your sins on him already and have forgiveness and salvation. What the society's doing is giving it all, putting it on the homeless. But it isn't the homeless leaving this trash here, is it? It's the housed people. Human beings have a tendency, especially when nobody's looking, to do disgusting things. They litter, they leave trash around, and yes, if they really have to go badly and there's no one around, there have been times I have seen housed people get out and do their business where they have to do it. Just like these homeless people do exactly what they have to do. See, it's not homeless people who are leaving all that trash that's piling up in Los Angeles and San Francisco and these other cities. You keep looking at it as it's the homeless who are causing this trash problem, but that's not it. It's human beings. People are leaving the trash there. People. If they didn't have trash disposal services, if you didn't have all these green trucks running around picking up the garbage, and God bless those people who do that job. It's a thankless job, but you can't imagine how much healthier and safer and more pleasant this world is because of the hard work that they do. You know, garbage men. Thanks to all of you for what you do. If they weren't around, you know what? Every one of these housed people in these $250,000 debt domiciles, $500,000 homes, all these people would be surrounded by trash because they're too lazy to take their trash anywhere further than the end of their driveway. They're too lazy to do it, just like these people are too lazy to do anything with their trash. They just throw it in the parking garage and drive home. And they let the person who has no home, who lives in a car, pick up after them because nobody else is going to do it. The reason the trash piles up around the homeless people in particular is because nobody's picking it up. It's not because they're leaving more trash than people who live in houses do. People who live in houses have people, you might call them servants, who come around and they serve them. They take care of them. They do what these people should be doing on their own, but they're too lazy to do it, which is to pick up after yourselves, to dispose of your own garbage. But they won't do that. At best, they'll put it in the proper recycle bin because they're such responsible, environmentally conscious people. They'll make sure they separate everything to the right garbage bale that has wheels on it, by the way. You got to have wheels on it because you don't want to have to lift it. That takes effort and work. It's got to have wheels on it, right? And they wheel it down to the end of the driveway, and then they go plop themselves in front of the television with a bag of potato chips while somebody who works for a living comes and picks up all that garbage. That's why all the houses in these suburbs are not surrounded by the kind of garbage. Can you imagine if I did not pick up this garbage every week or 2 weeks, which is how often I do it, how long do you think it would be before the inside of this parking garage in a professional building in Minnesota would look like the streets of Los Angeles that they keep throwing on TV, blaming the homeless people for that? How long would it take? Because I'm telling you right now, I know from experience, those custodians in there being paid to do the job don't even come in here. They're not going to do it. And you only saw what's in here. What about the grounds outside? I'm the guy who cleans all that up. And I do it just because it's the right thing to do. I don't like seeing all that crap out there. And if you don't like seeing it around these homeless people out there, I'll tell you how to solve the problem. Don't look to other people to give you a handout. Don't look to politicians to hand you a solution while you sit back in front of your TV talking on your cell phone. Why don't you do something about it?
Why don't you make it so that people don't have to live in third world hellish conditions in the United States of America? Because if they don't have to live in those conditions, then guess what? They're not going to pee on the sidewalk. They're not going to poop on your business's front door. And they're not going to leave their garbage all over the place, except to this extent that everybody seems to litter here and there, and that stuff accumulates, but there's people picking up after them. Because they are lazy bums. You see, all these so-called professionals, all Hannity, do you think Hannity takes his garbage to the dump? Do you really think he does? Do you think he even takes his garbage out to the end of the driveway, or does he have a servant who does that for him? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he does. On wheels. I bet you his garbage can has wheels, but I bet you he either wheels it out to the end of his driveway, or he pays someone else to do that for him as well. Do you think any of these people complaining about this, do you think Gavin Newsom takes his own trash down to the dump? I'm sorry, folks, but you got to start looking at reality. You need to be slapped, and you need to wake up and see the reality. Get rid of this television. The television keeps repeating, oh, the homeless problem, we're bringing back the plague. And yeah, that's absolutely right. If you let the trash build up, it brings back a lot of diseases that we thought were eradicated. But why is the trash building up? Because you have people living in third world conditions in the United States of America. And it didn't start with them pitching a tent outside the Staples Center. It started with things like what happened to me 4 years ago, when the state of Minnesota screwed me over every which way to Sunday. The stuff that happened to me was absolutely unconscionable. My landlord got away with criminal activity. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no lawyers that will help. There's no media that's responsible enough to help. They're all a bunch of lazy bums. These are the kinds of people who I see out there driving into the park for 5 minutes in the morning before they go to work, so they can shoot up their opioids. This is the reality, folks. This is the reality. And for people to be out there in the national news pitching solutions like, let's bus them away so that they become somebody else's problem. I'm sorry, folks. If you bus every homeless person out of Seattle, all those wonderful, housed, responsible people who are left behind, they're just as bad. And if you think that homeless people are fundamentally, inherently different than all these people living in these neighborhoods, then you have ostetophobia. You have an irrational fear and hatred of a particular class of citizen. It's no different than anti-Semitism, racism, sexism, any of those other isms. What the homeless people are doing are exactly what you would do in their situation. I promise you that. And if you don't believe me, do a little thought experiment. Imagine that you are homeless and you can't get any assistance because nobody in this country cares if you live or die, because you've become their scapegoat. You've become the one that the whole nation puts their sins on. And we can just blame the homeless people. Okay, if we keep screwing up our lives, we're divorced 5 times and we've got all these things going on, or filed for bankruptcy and all this, and oh my gosh, my kid's on drugs. If we're screwing everything up, we can always look at the homeless people. Well, at least we're not those filthy, disgusting homeless people. They deserve everything they got. And you've seen in my other videos where I've showed you where people online are saying things like, we need a serial killer to take care of the homeless problem, where they come right out and say the word genocide. We need genocide to get rid of the homeless problem. The homeless are not the problem. People are the problem. Those people are in a situation where they need your help, but they never get your help. I haven't gotten any help in the more than 4 years I've been living in this car. But by the grace of Almighty God, am I not living in a tent in a place like that, or out in a ditch? If it were not for the Creator up there, I would be in their situation. And I'll tell you something, friends. Do this thought experiment, which is what I would have to do if I were in that situation. Imagine that you are in Los Angeles. You live in the desert, the heat of the desert. You can't shower for a month or 2 months at a time. You're wearing the same clothes for a month or 2 months at a time. And you're sitting there living in a cardboard box on Hollywood Boulevard while people are walking past you and ignoring your existence so that they can go take a picture with their cell phone of some minor celebrity's star in a piece of concrete. and you have to go to the bathroom. What are you going to do? You're going to walk across the street and go over to those 5-star department stores there and ask to use the bathroom right in front of their customers? How far do you think you're going to get with that? Do a thought experiment, because you ain't going to get far. In me, someone who for the most part looks like a professional, certainly carries himself like a professional, very friendly and cheerful, nice, even I can't find a place to maintain my hygiene. Even in churches won't even let me do it. Now, if I can't get that kind of benefit to where I can maintain my hygiene and take care of my business properly, how do you think those people can do it? And if you're in that situation and you have to go because it's a bodily function, guess what you're going to do? You're going to unzip your pants and you're going to relieve yourself right there. Because you have to relieve yourself, and there's nowhere you can go to do it without getting in trouble. So why not just do it right where you stand? That's why they do it. And all these people, you know, what Hannity was implying, and this, whatever his name was, Balzando, I don't know who this guy is, Geraldo, all these people they're all trying to portray homeless people as if they're fundamentally different than everyone else. They are not fundamentally different. We are all human beings. It's their situation. Their situation is so epically unjust and unfair and horrific, especially when it's juxtaposed with the kind of incredible wealth and blessing that all the people around them have. You put those two together, that's why they behave the way they do. That's why they crawl into a bottle. That's why they start going for the drugs. Looks like my battery's running out here as always, so I guess that'll keep this video short. I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope I can edit it to make it kind of effective, because what I just showed you, I demonstrated for you. This was not staged. This is what I deal with all the time. And I'm telling you right now, there is not one of those other hundreds of very, very, very important business people who clean up the garbage in this place. They're the ones who drop the garbage here. And since there's no way for homeless people to get into this secure location, it ain't them who's doing it. I hope you'll all think about that. And I hope you'll start sending some letters to these people. Not just Hannity. I'm not talking about just the right or just the left. Anybody in the media or in politics who even makes the slightest implication that homeless people are the problem simply because they're homeless people, set them straight. Because they're lying to you, and they're setting you up for one day getting one hell of a slap in the face when you have to figure out the reality of it. I hope you'll figure it out before that kind of reality has to slap you that hard. Hi, I'm sorry for the jump cut here, but there's something I forgot to point out in that video. You remember the lights that were out in this parking garage? There's a light about every 8 or 10 feet throughout the parking lot on both sides, and there's more than one going across as well. So there's probably about, I'd say 30 lights in here. And like I told you in the video, about 10 of them, maybe even 12, are broken. And when I say broken, I don't mean that the light bulb is out. I mean that these things are basically destroyed. And when I first mentioned it, I was doing it, of course, as if the homeless were in here with a baseball bat just breaking lights or something. I want to tell you what's really happened to those lights. And in fact, I'm going to be able to show you to some extent. You see, this place was designed and built, and it is maintained by very, 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 very important professionals. But they didn't do a very good job. You know, when I went to undergraduate for college, the first thing I studied was engineering. That was before I went into computer science, astrophysics, and all that. I studied engineering. And this place is so poorly designed. It's probably U of M graduates, University of Minnesota. I see this all over this state. You remember when the bridge collapsed? the bridge just fell down with the school bus on it. And I see this all the time. They design this thing in such a way, I'm always worried about this thing collapsing, to be honest, but they designed it in such a way that when it rains, the water just literally pours into this bottom part. And when I say pours, I mean pours. You can see it right here. Okay, now when the water hits these lights, it shorts them out. So I've been sitting down here when it's raining to get out of the rain, and I have literally seen these lights go boom, and they make a huge explosion sound, like a transformer exploding. They literally explode. They blow up. They short out. Sparks go flying everywhere. And I've even been under them before. I've been pretty close to being under one where they just and all these sparks go flying like the 4th of July. Okay? And this stuff has happened throughout the time I've been here. I've been here more than 2 years. Not once have they ever fixed these. So there's no maintenance. So the design was atrocious. The construction was bad. And there's no maintenance. And yet it's not homeless people who are responsible for those functions, is it? It's very, 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 very important housed people. The people who blame the homeless for all of their problems in the world. So I just wanted to point that out. It is not the homeless who are sneaking in here at night with a baseball bat breaking these lights. It's the Minnesota professionals, the people who get to live in a home and sleep in a bed at night, while the people who are not destroying these lights and who probably would fix the lights if they had an opportunity to do so and to earn some money, those people are out sleeping in a ditch when it's raining to cause all this water to fall in here and blow these lights out. I hope you'll think about that as well. Thanks. Hi, I'm sorry to interrupt like this, but I needed to make a correction. In the video you just watched, when I was talking about the very important, respectable, housed Minnesotans who go to this park every morning to do their drugs before they get in their car and drive and go to work. At one point in this video, I had said that there were about 60 of them who come in the morning, 60, and that was incorrect. What I meant to say was 16, 16. Okay, but I'm not going to apologize. Hold on just a moment here. All right, I apologize.
You're really sorry?
I'm really, really sorry.
You take it back?
I apologize unreservedly. I offer a complete and utter retraction. The imputation was totally without basis in fact, and was in no way fair comment, and was motivated purely by malice, and I deeply regret any distress that my comments may have caused Minnesotans or their families, and I hereby undertake never to repeat such slander at any time in the future.
Okay.
Look beneath your lips a moment. See those things you didn't quite consume. The world's a can for your fresh garbage.
Oh ja, you betcha.